What's going on, everybody? This is Blister coming at you with another classic WoW video. I really don't feel like I need to give you guys much of an introduction. The thumbnail and the title say it all. I really do believe that classic WoW has a chance to save the MMO genre, and I'll tell you why. So the first big obvious thing is we're getting classic WoW. We're showing developers that those old school mechanics and old school styles of playing and everything that was classic WoW is what we actually want in an MMO. That's why they're bringing it back. That's why Blizzard had their hand forced essentially by the community to give us what we wanted. They were listening to us. That's a big thing to think about, and that's going to be a recurring theme as to why I think that classic and Blizzard to an extent can bring back the MMO genre and bring it back to its former glory of the early 2010s, when Wrath of the Lich King was beyond popular and there was thousands and millions and 10 million plus players playing World of Warcraft at one time. So like I said, they're listening to us. They're listening to our concerns. They're communicating with us. Now, I know that a lot of gaming companies will communicate with their fan base about their games. Like, you look at Ashes of Creation and you look at Chronicles of Valyria. Chronicle of Valyria has a newsletter that they put out like every other week or once a month. I don't remember the frequency of it, but they give updates regularly. The only problem is that a lot of these game companies, they'll listen to their players, but they won't act on it. They'll listen to their players, and that's about it. They'll communicate with their players like, this is what we're doing now. We don't really care what you want. We're going to do what we want to do, not what you want to do. And that's a problem with a lot of games today. And Blizzard right now, even though it's Blizzard Activision, they're listening to their community and they're changing what they're doing. Now, they may not be doing that with other games, but I'm trying to focus on the MMO market right now. You look at Battle for Azeroth even, and they're doing it there as well. Battle for Azeroth has not been a stellar expansion. I mean, there's been people leaving the game in waves and going to other MMOs. There's been a lot of people going to Final Fantasy XIV. There's been a lot of people going to Black Desert. All these other MMOs are getting players that used to play WoW. All these people are leaving to go play other MMOs. But in the background, Blizzard actually has been listening, even in Battle for Azeroth. The next big patch, which is patch 8.2, they're actually doing away and trying to make the community better, make the game better for the community. They're trying to bring in all these things and get rid of all these other things that the community has expressed many times that they really do not like about Battle for Azeroth. And with 8.2, they're trying to fix a lot of that. So they may be taking their time, but they're listening and they're trying to fix it. Now, going back to Classic, we see the exact same thing. We expressed a lot of concern about the power creep with how they were originally scheduling their content for Classic WoW. Then what did we get a couple weeks ago? We got an updated release schedule with 6 steps instead of the initial 4, I believe it was, that they had at BlizzCon. There was also all these issues that people were complaining about with the demo when we had the demo back in November. Issues like the health regen, which they did fix. It was working correctly, supposedly, to them in their internal version. Just the version that got put into the demo was incorrect. So technically, I guess they didn't have to fix anything. It was just the demo that wasn't working correctly. We also had the issue with the Warlock's pet summon, and people saying that the pet was supposed to disappear or was supposed to stun. However you looked at it, those guys working on Classic WoW actually went back, did their research, and said, actually, you know what? We had it right. The way that it happened in the demo was the way that it happened in Classic, so we're going to keep it. Initially, they thought that they were wrong and they were going to go change it, but then after they did their research, they actually said, actually, no, you guys are wrong, and here's the proof. They also heard complaints about, like, the rare mob damage and the kobold run speed and the crit rating and rogue energy, the parry, dodge, and misses, and a whole bunch of different things that we expressed concerns with in the demo, and that they went back, they looked at, they either researched it and said, hey, actually, no, that's right, it's not supposed to be any higher than that, it's right where it needs to be, or, hey, we screwed up, we're fixing it for when Classic gets released. So a lot of the communication between the community and the company as a whole is happening, and it's fantastic. If Classic WoW can be successful to the point where even though we have Classic and Retail both running at the same time, and both of them separately are getting more people to play than other MMOs, like the biggest competitors for WoW right now is Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online, and Final Fantasy XIV. If Classic WoW and Retail can be above all those games, there's no doubt in my mind that people are going to, again, go back and look at what Blizzard is doing with WoW and say, that's what we need to do. And they're showing us what they're doing right now. They're listening to us and they're communicating with us. Another great example of all this is just even recently with the Alterac Valley announcement. They're saying that they're going with the 1.12 version. They saw that a lot of people were asking that after the new release schedule came out. So the following week, what did they do? They came out and they told people, hey, this is what we're doing. We still don't know where the PvP stuff is going to fall, but we're using version 1.12 of AV. The communication is finally there. And if it continues to be there, it's going to make Classic WoW great. It's going to bleed into other parts of Blizzard, hopefully, and it's going to just make other games great again. All of this communication and research and time that these managers are spending with the community makes me really happy to see that these guys are enthusiastic about Classic just as much as we are. They're going to actually be playing right alongside with us. They're not going to just go and dev the game, then go home and not do anything. These guys are working on the game so that way they can go home and play the game themselves too. It's going to be great to have that kind of structure again within WoW and within Blizzard and the community. People used to play WoW at home, go to work, work on WoW, come home, play more WoW. It was a great community. Everybody was playing it, and we've kind of lost a lot of that since probably Wrath of the Lich King. It's probably started to trail off. I mean, I'm sure there's still a lot of people at Blizzard that play WoW, but it's probably not nearly as much as there used to be back in the heyday. The only concern that I still have right now with Classic is the sharding issue, and they have been communicating with us here and there about that kind of stuff, but that's one thing. And I guess as a company, they still have to try and make sure that everybody can enjoy the experience on launch, and that's why they're using sharding. They don't want to use sharding throughout the entirety of the game, so I'm hoping that sharding will be dealt with in a very good way, but I don't know how that's possible right now. If you're really that worried about it, just make sure you're rolling an RP ROM, because then the sharding shouldn't be as much of an issue. So anyways, guys, real quick, that's it. I really do feel like with the way that Blizzard is approaching Classic, whoever is on that team, they're doing exactly what they need to do, and it's really restoring my faith in Blizzard right now. I know other games aren't coming along the way they're supposed to. I don't even want to get close to Diablo, but right now they're making me feel very good about the direction they're going with Classic, and even with Retail right now. I know that 8.2 is a long ways away, but they're still going in the right direction. Hopefully they can learn from this and make the next expansion for Retail even better. I mean, we're all WoW fans, whether it be Classic or Retail. We all want the game in one way or another to succeed. So here's to hoping that Blizzard is learning from this and that they can push the ceiling for all expansions in the future. And here's to also hoping that these other game companies are catching on to this and they're going to use this too. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, it's Radit here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. We put out multiple new videos each week, and we appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching, everyone, and cheers.